Almost exactly a year after I was discharged from Wascana, I was admitted to a psychiatric hospital at 80 pounds for an eating disorder. And it's really, I didn't feel like I had anything going for me in my life. I didn't feel like I could control anything. And looking back now, I realized that all the qualities that make me a good athlete are also what predisposed me to an eating disorder. So the competitiveness, the type A personality, the wanting to do better, the wanting to improve, the wanting to just always be one step above, and the commitment and the determination. Things that make a great athlete also tend to put you at risk for eating disorders. So I think had I found cycling earlier, it would have helped me with that first time, with the relapse I went through 2 years later when I started university, because it wasn't really until I started biking that I feel like I gained the upper edge on the eating disorder. But when I found cycling, I realized that there was something in my life more important than the voice in the back of my head that told me not to eat. I realized that if I didn't eat, I couldn't train. There were times when I really, really didn't want to eat in the evening, and I thought, I've got a really hard interval session tomorrow and I'm not going to be able to do it unless I eat. Of course, nutrition is of utmost importance. For me, coming from a history with an eating disorder, my dietitian is a very key part of my team because she keeps me honest, she helps push me in the right way without making me uncomfortable. So when we're in track cycling, we're focused a lot on muscle mass and strength and brute power. So because they're shorter efforts, it's not that carbs aren't important, but they're not as important. You're not gonna drain your carbohydrate stores in your muscle. So you really need to focus on the protein intake to rebuild the muscle damage that you've accrued over the training or the race. Whereas when you're on the road, it's less muscle damage and more your muscle stores of carbohydrate are being depleted, so you really need to focus more on carbs there. The mental aspect is huge. There are literally workouts that have made me cry. And it takes every ounce of energy that I have not to stop pedaling right there and call somebody to come pick me up. But it's knowing that what is the ultimate goal and understanding that this is what we have to do. This is what winning feels like. It's gonna hurt now, but it's gonna feel really good when you're standing on that podium.